Staying alone at home for the first time ever should have been the highlight of my 8-year-old life. But even the name of joy was foreign to me as I stood behind the door of my room, one hand on the handle, too afraid to open it. My heart was pounding in my throat as I realized just who and what awaited me behind that door. I looked down to see the red liquid seeping into the carpet, nearly at the tips of my toes now. I have to do this, I tell myself, desperately searching for the courage I needed to open the door, but I just couldn't. I never before felt so petrified, felt this rushing in my veins, this constriction of my lungs, this deafening white noise in my ears. But with no other choice, finally stepping through the door, it doesn't take long for me to find myself face to face with my worst nightmare. On the floor, staining the carpet a harsh, permanent red, and on the table, my arch nemesis. I meet their gaze, both of us locked in a battle of wills, me shivering with fear, and her cool and indifferent to my plight. Me, the tormented soul, and my cat, standing proudly over the glass of pomegranate juice she'd just knocked over onto the carpet. As an older and at least somewhat wiser 17-year-old, it's hard to imagine ever reacting the same way I did then, over a glass of spilled juice. It was a childish reaction, for a childish mistake. After my parents had come home and I'd endured the inevitable lecture, finding the solution became as easy as searching up the best carpet cleaners. Nothing like the unwashable catastrophe I had feared it would be. But although I'll never react like that again, that feeling of fear, it hasn't faded to distant past. In fact, I recall feeling something similar in my 10th grade calculus exam. Cold sweat on my palms, my enemy cool and indifferent in front of me, that deafening white noise in my ears. But this time, something was different. This time, I knew what to do. I could recall the way it had felt 9 years ago, and I was also able to remember the way the emotions had passed, the way I had dealt with it. I overcame these fears through the lessons of my childhood. I was many, many years away from the little girl I once was, but somehow it's still her that helps to manage my fear. When the adrenaline starts buzzing in my head, it's the little girl who had left her glass of juice unattended in front of a pet all those years ago that holds my hand and walks me through it. Teaches me how to deal with it. It's something I had feared so much 9 years ago, was something I could laugh at today. Maybe this too will become just another memory soon enough. Something to laugh at in a speech 9 years from now. Our experiences in childhood often seem laughable and insignificant, but they are the reasons we are able to deal with much bigger mistakes today. The spilled juice, permanent stains, and various horrors have turned into math tests, the SAT, and college applications. And tomorrow, there'll be job interviews and relationship decisions and tax forms, each one wrecking your life just as easily as my cat wrecked the pristine carpet all those years ago. But for every single one, you will find a younger version of yourself in your mind whispering reassurances to you. You've already done this. You've been here before. You know where to go from here. Fear, horror, and uncertainty. These are all emotions that return again and again and again. But we have the choice to either fear them as strangers or to acknowledge them like the old friends that they are. After all, don't we all know that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself? And my cat, of course. Thank you.